Recently, I decided to upskill myself by learning machine design, and one of the projects I chose was designing an industrial gearbox from scratch. At first, I thought the CAD modeling would be the hardest part, but I quickly realized the real challenge was all the engineering calculations that come before the design even begins. The first step was deciding the gearbox housing dimensions, the length, width, and height. Once those were fixed, I had to determine the gear ratio, select the appropriate gear type, whether it was a spur gear or a helical gear, and then calculate the correct module, pitch, circle diameter, center distance, and the number of teeth for each gear. Each calculation depends on the previous one, so the entire process takes time. For a complete design, I was spending nearly 4 hours just doing calculations before I could even start modeling the gearbox. But the most frustrating part came when I wanted to change just one design parameter. Maybe I wanted a different gear ratio, or I had to reduce the housing size. That single change meant repeating almost every calculation from the beginning. After doing this several times, I thought, why not automate the entire process? So I built a desktop application that performs all these calculations automatically.
So this is the software I have designed, I have made in order to calculate the entire gearbox dimensions. So it has divided into certain sections. This is the input section where we give the inputs such as the module, the pressure angle, the phase width, the gear ratio, and here we can change the directions. And this is the main feature, that is the housing dimensions. We can give an approximate length, width, and height of the gearbox housing. So we can change the housing like 200. So this is the schematic diagram of the gearbox, such as which gears have to be placed under the same shaft or not. So we can get all the data from this box itself. That is, which gear, the number of teeth, the PCK diameter, everything. So in order to calculate manually everything, so if you want to design a gearbox in SolidWorks or Fusion 360, you have to know specific parameters like the PCD, the number of teeth, the module, and mainly the center distance. This center distance is very much important for in order to design a shaft. So this is where everything becomes simple. So here we can see a message. The calculated envelope length for 403.5 exceeds the housing limit. That means this housing, this gearbox assembly cannot be placed under this housing. So you have to increase the length of the housing. Suppose I give a 500 and everything can be calculated accordingly. Here it says the direction. It says two-stage gearbox design. So the input direction will be the same as the output direction. It is based on simple physics. So this is the software has designed. And also you can change the number of teeth, the face width, or you can change the number of teeth as 30. Yeah. And here the gearbox ratio will change. So you can iterate on different aspects of the gearbox design without even manually calculating all of the stuff. So this has reduced my 4 hours of calculation in just 5 minutes of simple time. And also all the calculations has been according to the standards. And another feature is that you can export it as a document. That means you can export as the calculations as a report. So if we export, and I have exported this gearbox calculation. And here we can have the calculation. As all the calculations that it can get the input, it can get the schematic layout, and it will also have the schematic diagram. So this is a very important tool, and it has given me it has saved me a good amount of time. You can try this software. I have provided a link in the description. You can try the software.